We knew that this second patch was going to be rough. We knew we were playing some difficult teams and some teams that, didn't want to lose this game tonight against the Mavericks. We all know why, but this was a tough loss for us.
I'm stressed. Start the show.
Take notes.
Beach.
We're here.
Oh man, Alan just did.
It's different this time.
What's up, guys? A sad night tonight. The Knicks have lost to the Dallas Mavericks, a team we beat twice last year, and a deflating loss, just like the Minnesota game. It's getting a bit worrying because, you mentioned in the little intro we had that, we're playing tougher teams. Technically, we are, but Minnesota were the worst team in the league. We were leading by a ton of points. Dallas are they're okay, and they're not a great team, but they're pretty good. But we were leading by 13, 14 points or whatever. This team, unfortunately, it looks mentally fatigued, and I'm feeling now that Tibbs' rotations are catching up to everyone because he's been playing like the same 9 guys all season long, basically. Yep. And at this point, you're seeing that, especially Julius. We're going to talk about Julius because Julius looked a mess tonight. Julius has been looking like him. I want to say himself, but he's been looking like how he looked last year, the past few games in a sense. And you're seeing, to me, I think, he prepared this offseason to last the season physically and mentally.
Right.
I think in many ways, he or the team have underestimated just how hard it is to go through a full season, because you could kind of feel in a sense the wheels falling off a little bit.
So I would say, first of all, are you wearing the same sweater as me? Do we have on the same sweater? Is that the one I bought for you?
Yeah.
Go Knicks. Yeah, we love it.
I think you just wanted to tell, I think you just wanted to plug that you bought it for me, but thanks, Mom.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to make sure. People knew that I bought that sweater for you. Listen, what I'm seeing happening is, like you just said, Tibbs' rotation, right? So these guys are exhausted. They're tired, which means the same thing as exhausted, sorry. But what I'm seeing in tonight's game is it seems like they're almost kind of losing that zest that they had, that like energy, that like, they were magnetic on the floor, and I'm not seeing that. Like, and I said it before. I think in the last game it happened as well, where I'm not seeing that gel of them together in the game. I think they have it mentally with each other, as in they really like each other. They play with each other. They're a team. They're definitely still a team. But on the court, we're starting to see where they're not really able to compete as well as these other teams, right? Because even though, like you said, the Minnesota team, which is one of the worst teams in the league, and by the way, tonight, look at our offense, look at our score. This is one of the lowest scoring games that we've had for the entire season, right? So definitely our offense wasn't any good, and their defense was good enough, So we are starting to lose, and maybe it is just that these guys are tired and they're exhausted, and it's a lot. And yes, it's a lot for every team. I get it, but I feel that our guys are playing really long minutes, and they're not used to it.
Yeah, well, I understand it happens to every team, but in many ways, this is a kind of feature of Tom Thibodeau. It's like it's a kind of give and take, right? The good is that unlike Fizdale, he's not going to change the team so often you don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But then on the flip side, he sticks with things too long. And I'll give you a prime example tonight. Obi Toppin, finally, in a 3-4 minute stretch, has all his moments for one season in one game. Like literally back to back, he makes the and one, hits a jumper off the dribble. Then he comes down and hits a putback dunk on Porzingis. Like everything he did, I was going crazy, right? And then Obi doesn't play that much in the third, plays a little bit. Randall played the entire third, which is crazy to me because Randall was really bad tonight. I know you got to trust him, but if Obi's giving you that, you gotta rock with Obi.
Go with it, and why not?
You gotta rock with Obi.
Like, why not? So we've been waiting. We've been talking about Obi, right? He was our pick in not first pick. He was our pick in the
first round. Yeah.
Right. Say again.
I said in the first round.
Sorry, yes, that's what I was trying to say. He was our pick in the first round. And so we were looking like, what's going on with him? We got Emmanuel quickly stepping up, and Obi's not really doing anything. However, Obi really is, in practice, he is doing a lot. He is putting in all the effort. They're all gym rats, I think, at this point. We know that. So tonight, you're right. He finally has his breakout game. We're like, great. We're finally seeing this is what we wanted to see from him in the first place. So now he's getting an opportunity to show us, because I'm sure that he's playing like this during practice, right? So now
probably not this. I don't know if he's playing this well, but I think in general he's been trying. The thing is, Obi's been bad. There's no argument against that. But it's like when Randall's bad tonight,
right?
You got to give Obi some more.
Here's the thing: he had like you just said, and we talked about it being a heat check, right? He has the opportunity. He comes out. He's obviously on a high, having this kind of game. You could see his energy. His energy was up. Sometimes I feel like it's better to have the guys on the court that have that up energy, as opposed to just, well, yeah, he's our guy, we know he can score. With Alec Burks, I think we see it happen a lot, right? Alec Burks has that energy, and when he has that energy and he's going, let him play. So I have no idea why we would let Randall play, like you said, the whole third quarter when he's not having a good game. Like, the reason you have the team is to be able to pull resources from the rest of the team, right? And we have that kind of team. We have the kind of team where, yes, it's clear that Randall is our number one player. Yes, it's clear that RJ is our number two player. But on the nights that they're having off nights, or even nights where there's a slight injury going on, that's when you have the other guys step in. And we have the right type of guys. Look at Taj Gibson again tonight. You know,
stepping up.
Stepping up, like, for real. And remember, we don't have Mitchell. So I don't know why it was that Obi wasn't allowed to come in at least another 5 minutes, to at least see, like, come on, what can you give us some more of what you gave us in the first half, right? So I feel like he didn't have that opportunity. And obviously Tibbs has a reason as to why he's not allowing that to happen and why he's forcing Randall to play this much. How many more games do we have left for the season?
I mean, 23 games left.
Not gonna last. Like,
yeah, 20. I mean, this might last. This might last a lot.
Right.
You got 23 games left.
Yeah. So to me, at this point now, you kind of have to change things up a little bit, right?
Yeah. I think there just needs to be a bit of a refreshing here. Last video I kind of went off on Alfred Payton. Alfred wasn't really the problem tonight. Our offense, though, needs a lot of work quickly. In a way, you can kind of see. I don't want to say like the magic is running out, but definitely some kind of rookie wall he's definitely hitting out there.
Right.
He's struggling to get his shot off the same way. He's struggling to get to the line, which was a thing he was doing early. The players adjusted to him a bit, where they're seeing that he's going for the fake and they're not biting on it. His floater is not going down. So he's struggling. That's going to happen. He's a rookie. RJ was really bad tonight. Couldn't get anything going, right? And we're not nearly good enough a team for Randall and RJ to both be so horrible like they were tonight. And this is no knock against them on the season. They've been great. We all know that. But we're looking in the right now. The Knicks have lost 3 in a row. We are sliding down the standings.
The last two at home we lost.
Last 2 at home, which is where we've been winning all season long.
Right.
We play Detroit tomorrow night, and Detroit suck. But we're traveling there.
Yeah. And
right, you know what I mean?
Nets on Monday.
And then they play the Celtics after that. And the Celtics have been struggling too, but they're fighting for the playoffs as well. The Knicks are going to have to refocus. I'm sorry. I know this season has been magical. It's been above expectations, and all that is great. But, like, you got to live in the here and now. These games are embarrassing. The Minnesota game was embarrassing. Tonight was embarrassing. We were down, like, in the fourth quarter when they went on a bit of a run and they started really taking it from us. We were down by, like, 5 points, but we were playing like we were down 50.
Right.
Like,
yes.
One thing with Julius that I want to bring up is Julius, he spoke in his Player Tribune article about his body language, and he looked at his body language and saw his son replicating it, and he realized, and I watched him again, not just tonight, last couple of games. Julius still has this thing where if he gets frustrated, he gets, and you could see it, like he's a little bit more down. Earlier in the season, we saw him smiling and laughing, and we felt like, okay, you could see he's enjoying his basketball right now. And this happens in the season. It's not perfect. There are ups and downs. Earlier in the season, we lost 5 in a row, and then we won 5 in a row right after. But given the teams we're playing coming up, given how much better teams are going to be playing down the stretch as they're trying to make the playoffs, this is worrying because it feels like the team needs a week off, but there's no week off. We had the week off already.
Yeah. This is going to be a rough stretch for us. And the thing is, the standings in the East are all neck and neck and so close, and it is going to be so easy. I mean, like you said, we weren't expecting to be here anyway, right? So right now we're in 6th place in the East, in the Eastern Division. And if we had looked at that any other time, we'd be like, oh my God, that's great. But when you look and see who's 7, 8, and 9, And basically they have the same amounts of wins and losses that we do, but it's just, due to home court advantage or however they score that we happen to be in 6th place. It's going to be so easy for us to drop down and drop out of a playoff running altogether, which, I really want us to make the playoff run just for the guys to get the experience more than anything else, just for them to get to that, that heights of playing in the playoffs. And then, even if we don't make it past the first round, just being there and getting us through the first gate would be nice.
Yeah. And I mean, given this season, it would be a disaster if we didn't make it, because you have a crazy draft coming up. And I didn't want to tank. Like I said, I wanted to see what happened and then adjust. The team played well enough. Randall took a leap. RJ took a leap where it didn't make sense to me to tank. But if you play well and then kind of don't make the playoffs anyway and maybe don't get a pick, then in a weird way, it's like you didn't do either thing. Right. Not to say they should make any plan for that, but I'm saying, at this point, this team has to make a playoffs. To drop out of the playoff race now, even though we would get in the lottery and technically we'd have a 0.5% chance of whatever. To me right now, this team has to refocus, find a way to make the playoffs. And Tibbs, he's got to figure out these lineups and have some adjustments going. I'm telling you, last year, we're Frank guys, but again, last year, Frank was on Luka Doncic and Frank had him in jail for a lot of those possessions. Frank is a fundamental defender, right? So against a guy like Luka,
right,
who you could see guys were playing Luka, they were trying to be aggressive, but he's too big, strong, and smart. Yeah. You play him aggressive, he's going to get around you, right? You play him off, he's going to kill you. That's why he's so good, because he can kind of do it all. You saw in the first half, I saw Randall try to press Luka and get up on him, and Luka was just strong enough to kind of get around him, use his body. He is almost like how RJ has gotten better at using his body and stuff. Luka's like that times a million.
Right.
So you watch a guy like Frank. Last year, Frank was really giving Luka trouble. He made a big play at the end of the game where he dived on the floor and held the ball from Luka, got up and screamed like that. The thing is, I'm not saying we know Frank struggles on offense, but on a night like tonight, Rose wasn't good. I definitely think Rose might be.
Play?
Well, I'm gonna get to maybe. I mean, I'm saying in this situation, I want to see him get a chance because Rose wasn't good tonight. Obviously, Rose and Quickly are both much better at offense, but I definitely think Rose is suffering some effects of COVID. He had it bad. Rose didn't just have a slight COVID. He had it bad. And I had COVID a year ago. Obviously, I'm not an elite athlete in any way, but it affects you for a while after. And I don't want to say that's why he's playing bad, but Rose doesn't look the same out there. One, Quickly, clearly struggling, not really knowing what to do on offense. You got to work with the lineup sometimes, man. Tibbs got tonight, Obi had to play more. Obi might have gotten us 20 points tonight if he played more. And the thing is, Randall was struggling. I even think Obi letting Randall sit for a while, refocus, sit down on the bench, and just calm down would have helped Randall come back in and play better.
I agree. It would have been beneficial to the entire team. Yeah. Let Obi come back up. Again, Obi was having a good game. Let him come and play. Randall wasn't. Let him sit out for a bit. Let him rest for a little bit. They let KP rest for a while. So we're supposed to do the same thing. Here's
the thing, KP, we didn't even talk about KP, right? I gotta say, people, I love that we boo him. I actually don't even feel that animosity anymore. I guess I feel like we moved on.
Neither do I.
I love just for the NBA, because to me, this is what it's about. Some people on Twitter, Dallas fans, were complaining about the booing, and I'm like, this is what sports is. It's good. This is fun. I want to hate Reggie Miller. It wouldn't have been fun if you didn't hate Reggie Miller. It's more fun that you hate Reggie Miller when he's doing choke signs and all that stuff. So to me, with KP, obviously it affected him early. It was definitely a high, intense game. You could see it was affecting him. But in the end, he actually took time. He sat on the bench, he refocused, and he had a much better, rest of the game. Whereas Randall struggled through the entire game. Randall just kept struggling and moving forward. There was no stop, reset thing from him tonight. It was just more struggles, more forward. And I could see his frustration, so I feel for him because he's done so much for us this season, and it's hard to be the main guy on a team that's not that good. He doesn't have that much help. But this is what they do. This is their job. They have to figure out these minutes, have to figure out a way to get Randall rested a little bit more. He had that thigh thing as well, so I'm wondering if that's bothering him. But these guys need a mental, I don't want to say break, because obviously there's no break at this point, but something has to change. Something has to change, and Tibbs has to at least look at some of his lineups and what he's doing and figure some things out.
Some re-evaluation needs to happen on the team. We have enough different pieces that can step up. They've shown us that they can step up. And we need to use them to our advantage. There's no reason for us to, and I said this before as well, there's no need for us to run these guys, the couple of guys like Randall, down rugged. Let him have a rest day, or a rest quarter, or a rest for 6 minutes even.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because we don't have that many. I mean, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Let me ask you this. Let's end on this. 23 games left. What do you predict for the rest of the way? Do you see this? And be honest. Do you see the roller coaster just sliding down, or do you think it's gonna be more about like, not really too good or too bad? It's gonna be a constant thing. What is your gut feeling? Because your gut feeling is good. You had a gut feeling the year before.
I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it.
You had a gut feeling the year before that the Nets were gonna get KD and Kyrie, which is insane to me. This is way before there was even conversation about it, and I was like, "That's not gonna happen." And look at me, I'm an idiot now. So let me hear it, Miss Cleo, Miss Cleo. Go on,
Listen, I hate to say this because I'm a pessimistic person as it is. Unless things change, I actually, how like you have those nice highs and we came in like, oh, look at what we're doing.
Yeah.
I see it going downhill. And I hate to say that because I want to support I'm supporting the team regardless, right? It doesn't matter if they're going downhill, but I almost in a way feel sorry for that too. I feel sorry that no, I don't want it to go that way. Of course I don't want it to go that way. I want to see them step back up. I want to see, listen, we're still not closing games.
Yeah.
Right? We're still not closing games. And it was weird because at the end of this game, right before the end, like I think when there was like 2 minutes left, it was almost like they got a little fire under them and they started playing a little bit better and a little bit more aggressive. And I was like, well, at this point, it's really not going to matter because now you're trying to play tit for tat. Okay, you're scoring, but so is Dallas. So it's not really going to change the outcome of the game at this point. So that last push, when you're in a game that's a 9-10 point game, that last push has to come in like at 4 minutes. It can't come in at 2 minutes. 2 minutes is way too short a time. Unless you're like a really elite team that knows that you can build up those 10 points in the 2 minutes, because it's obviously possible. It can be done, but we're not that team. We're nowhere near that team yet.
We were mentally done. Listen, like I said, we were 5 points down and it felt like 50 at that point, way before the end.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're done. Like they clearly, like you can see, there are games where a 10-point lead could feel like a 1-point lead, and there are games like tonight where a 5-point lead felt like a 50-point lead. One thing I will say in general, we have to move the ball better. Dallas, you saw them later in the fourth quarter when they were killing us. They were moving the ball so well, open shots. We just really got in a bad habit of like Randall with the ball, ISOing, waiting for something to happen. Maybe he got the odd pass out to the wing. Like Randall's still trying to pass. He had like 8 assists tonight, so it's not like he's completely forgot passing or anything. But our offensive sets, and Tibbs is a defensive coach, and one of the criticisms has always been his offense. But we got assistants on the bench. I will say this: 0-3 since Mike Woodson left the team.
I knew you were gonna bring up that stat because I loved Mike when he was the head coach, right? For that season there was like really nice, and even though we may not see him being as vocal as, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and he could have been a big part of the gel that was keeping those guys going.
Listen, every time Mike Woodson's on the Knicks in the 21st century, they're good. When he's not on the Knicks, they're not good. I'm ending the show with that. That's all I'm saying, guys. Ruff, we got Detroit tomorrow. When I say we have to win, like your prediction, but your worry about the season. Right. If we lose tomorrow night to Detroit, it's a wrap. It is a wrap.
Also, the momentum, right? The momentum. You lose 4 games in a row.
Oh.
Now, as a team, you're feeling horrible. You're feeling shitty, and there's no motivation. It's like so that's why I'm feeling that whole downhill thing. So yes, we do have to win that Detroit game tomorrow. So
yep, we will see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, peace, and see you guys tomorrow with hopefully a win. But rough night tonight. Just go to sleep, guys. Don't think about this game.